Shadowed Battlegrounds presents The Forest Guardian, an encounter with Azhdaya in the Russian Civil War. In the tumultuous period of the Russian Civil War, amidst the chaos that divided a nation, there existed stories, some born from the horrors of war, others from the depths of ancient folklore. This is one such tale. Sergei Ivanovich, a young man with piercing blue eyes and a resolve as strong as the Siberian winter, joined the ranks of the White Army. He was driven by a fervent desire to combat the Bolsheviks, to restore order and peace to his motherland. Little did he know that his journey would take him beyond the realms of human conflicts, into the shadows of ancient myths. On a particularly biting cold morning, Sergei was summoned by his commanding officer. "Ivanovich," he began, his voice as grave as the situation at hand, "we've received intelligence of a significant Bolshevik supply route, deep within the woods to the north. Your company is to infiltrate enemy lines and gather as much information as possible. Remember, stealth is key." Sergei nodded, the weight of the mission settling on his shoulders. As Sergei and his company ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew colder, and an unnerving silence enveloped them. The dense canopy above seemed to swallow all sound, save for the crunch of snow beneath their boots. It was as if the forest itself was watching, waiting. On the third night, as they huddled around a small fire trying to fend off the biting cold, they heard it, an eerie, almost mournful howl that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The men exchanged uneasy glances, but Sergei dismissed it as the wind. However, deep down, a sliver of fear took root. The following day, as they navigated a particularly dense part of the woods, they stumbled upon an ancient abandoned village. The sight was unsettling. The buildings, or what was left of them, were overgrown with vegetation, and an oppressive sense of desolation hung in the air. It was here, amidst the ruins, that they encountered the Azhdaya. Emerging from the shadows, the creature was like nothing Sergei or his men had ever seen. Towering, with eyes that burned like coals and scales that shimmered in the scant light that filtered through the canopy. The Azhdaya, a creature of legend, said to guard the threshold between worlds, stood before them, its gaze piercing their very souls. Panic ensued. Some men fired their rifles, the bullets ricocheting off the creature's scales harmlessly. Others fled in terror, only to be swallowed by the dense forest. Sergei, frozen in fear, could only watch as the Azhdaya moved closer, its intentions unreadable. Then, in a voice that resonated within their minds, the creature spoke. "Why do you bring your wars to this sacred place?" it asked, its tone mournful. Sergei, gathering his courage, replied, "We seek only to pass, to fight for what we believe is right for our land." The Azhdaya studied Sergei for what felt like an eternity before finally stepping aside, allowing them to pass. "Beware the wars of men," it warned. "They have a way of consuming everything, even the purest of intentions." With that, the creature vanished into the forest, leaving Sergei and his remaining men in stunned silence. They continued their mission with heavy hearts, forever changed by the encounter. The war raged on, but the battle lines were no longer as clear for Sergei and those who survived. The encounter with the Azhdaya, a being beyond their comprehension, had opened their eyes to the broader consequences of their actions, to the pain and destruction that war brings not just to men, but to the world itself. Years later, long after the guns had fallen silent, Sergei would often recount the tale of their encounter in the woods, a reminder of the time when they came face to face with a legend and of the lessons they learned. Not about war, but about humility and the importance of protecting all life, no matter how mythical it may seem.